This is the last known video of Ezequiel Altamira, a shy but fun-loving 16-year-old from Morón, Buenos Aires, Argentina. The very last video before a tragic Friday night out with friends. And guys, this case has been requested by an actual friend of his here at the channel. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, and I hope I do him justice. It was supposed to be just another typical night in Ituzaingó. Ezequiel and his 6 friends had a plan. Sneak into a club with fake IDs, drink, dance, and then crash at a friend's place for a sleepover. They headed to Cool de nightclub, partied the night away, and afterward, Ezequiel followed the plan, spending the night at his friend's house. He went to sleep early morning at his friend's place, but he never woke up. And the worst part, the people responsible may never face justice because they were minors. Welcome to Crimesanatomy. I'm Victor, and I cover true crime cases from around the world. If you'd like to support my work, a quick thumbs up goes a long way. Around noon that next day, Ezequiel's friends tried to wake him up, but something was wrong. He was cold, unresponsive. They called for help, and within minutes, the Ituzaingó medical unit arrived. The on-call doctor didn't hesitate. Ezequiel Altamira was pronounced dead on the scene. News of his sudden death hit the community like a shockwave. Detectives from the Morón DDI and the EPDS mobilized immediately, launching a full investigation. They collected CCTV footage, interviewed eyewitnesses, and tried to reconstruct the missing hours between the nightclub and the moment Ezequiel went still. To understand what exactly happened, we have to go back to the early morning hours of October 26, 2024. Sometime after 3 a.m., Ezequiel and his friends left the club. They headed to a nearby plaza to order an Uber. It was quiet until a group of 8 to 13 teenage boys passed them on the sidewalk. Just a glance, nothing more. Or so it seemed. But 2 of them stopped, turned around, and walked back. One of them barked, "Stand on your hands." No one moved. No one laughed. Then, chaos. They charged at Ezequiel's group. That wasn't some scare tactic, it was a targeted attack. A 14-year-old broke from the pack and struck Ezequiel from behind, using a knuckle duster. The blow landed to the base of his skull. Ezequiel crumpled to the ground, and even then, it didn't stop. The boy kicked him in the head while he was down, then casually snatched his phone and walked away. And the entire thing was caught on camera. There had been no fight inside the club. No shouting match, no dirty looks. Ezequiel hadn't argued with anyone. He hadn't provoked anyone. There was no clear reason for what happened next. After the attack, Ezequiel's friends did what any panicked teenager would do. They sprinted back to the club and alerted security. Within minutes, the club's medical staff rushed to the scene and gave him first aid. And somehow, despite the sheer violence of the ambush, Ezequiel managed to stand back up. He was dazed but breathing. Nightclub security checked on him, asking simple questions to gauge if he was responsive. Someone said he was drunk, so the advice they gave? Keep him awake for the next 2 hours. They didn't call an ambulance, and tragically, neither did his friends. They followed that advice, and that decision may have cost him his life. But that wasn't the only disturbing development. Security cameras captured chilling footage that same morning. The group of teens responsible for the attack was seen earlier, leaving a property in Odoando, just a short distance from the scene. They walked together towards the plaza, like predators stalking a hunting ground. At exactly 5:34 a.m., the same boys were caught on camera returning home. Only this time, they were wearing different clothes. Ezequiel's uncle, Mario, wasn't shocked. "That's just how those things are," he said, tired, almost numb. "They do this every weekend. No morals, no rules, nothing." Locals echoed his words. They knew these attacks all too well. They even had a name for them: Piranha-style robberies. Groups of young men would swarm their victims, ambushing them in seconds. They'd strip clubgoers of their phones, wallets, shoes, and vanish into the dark. But since so few people ever reported the crimes, police rarely intervened. Then came the autopsy, and it confirmed the worst. Ezequiel Altamira, just 16, died from blunt force trauma. A powerful strike to his left temple had fractured his skull in the parietal region. The blow caused a massive brain hemorrhage, the kind of injury you don't wake up from. The forensic report also noted small abrasions on his knee, on his hand. They were consistent with what the camera showed, the fall after the first strike. Soon after, police made their move. 4 minors were taken into custody in connection with the murder of Ezequiel Altamira. Officers also seized the clothing they wore that night, the same clothing clearly visible in the security footage. The investigation quickly zeroed in on a 14-year-old boy, the one seen on camera delivering the fatal blow. He was arrested, and for a brief moment, there was hope that the justice would follow. Judge Cecilia Drago ordered the boy to be held in a secure juvenile institution. Because of his age, he was later acquitted. The oldest member of the group, a 17-year-old, was formally charged with homicide during a robbery. A serious charge, yes, but still protected under a legal system designed to soften consequences for youth offenders. The remaining 3, ages 14 and 15, were declared not criminally responsible. Their punishment, just 180 days under restrictive security measures. And after that, they'll likely walk free. If you're still here, you're probably asking the same question the entire country of Argentina is asking. How can a teenager kill someone and walk free? According to the prosecutor, Guillermo Rodriguez Rey, the 14-year-old who fractured Ezequiel's skull and took his phone, the one who struck with a knuckle duster and left Ezequiel to die, may be back on the streets within months. All of this while the family buries their son. Friday night was supposed to be fun, a night of music, laughter, freedom, a teenage memory in the making. But for 16-year-old Ezequiel Altamira, it became his last. One decision, one street, one brutal, cowardly act. And in a single moment, his life was gone. The aftermath had left the town of Ituzaingó reeling. Anger, outrage, heartbreak, and deep, raw questions that no parent should ever have to ask.
Because, yes, truly he was a good kid, a normal kid, a healthy kid.
How young is too young to be held accountable for murder? In Argentina, the age of criminal responsibility is just 16, a law written back in 1980 and untouched since. Under this system, anyone under 16 cannot be prosecuted, regardless of the crime. Those between 16 and 18 may face charges, but only in specific situations, and even then with reduced sentences. And even at 16, the law still allows certain crimes to go unpunished unless they fall into narrow, predefined categories. For Ezequiel's family, it's infuriating. For his uncle, Mario, it's impossible to understand. According to him, age isn't the issue here, it's the actions that is, he said in an interview. If you're 14 and you go out with a gang to rob people, you know it's wrong. And if you hit someone in the head, leave them unconscious, and then steal from them, we're not talking about a normal 14-year-old. We're talking about a criminal, a murderer. And he's right. Ezequiel Altamira should have come home that night. He should have woken up groggy the next morning, maybe with a hangover, maybe laughing with his friends. Instead, his mother planned his funeral. They may never serve real time. It makes you wonder, how many more families have to go through this before the system actually changes? But this wasn't an isolated tragedy. In January 2025, just a few months later, 18-year-old Mateo Adrián Yagame was killed in Los Hornos near La Plata. Mateo's 15-year-old brother was being mugged. Mateo stepped in to defend him. One of the attackers, a 14-year-old boy, stabbed him in the leg. The blade severed a major artery. Mateo made it home, but died 2 days later in critical condition. Another teenager, another senseless killing. Another underage suspect declared unpunishable, untouchable. Mateo's mother, Noela, echoed the same frustration as Ezequiel's family. She asked the same haunting question: what kind of a justice system lets a child bury their brother while the killer walks free? This is Victor. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.